Hey, folks, welcome to InTheMoneyStocks.com's live trading action video. My name is Gareth Soloway, Chief Market Strategist here. Today's date is Thursday, December 27th, 2018. All right, folks, let's talk about the market's action today. You have a retrace going on. This is actually very, very normal and somewhat healthy as well. A lot of people look at the spiders being down 490, almost 2% on the day and say, oh man, the markets are giving back the gains, but that's not really true. If you look at from the lows yesterday to the highs from yesterday, you can see that we're staying within the upper range. In fact, we're staying within the 0.382 Fibonacci retrace of that entire move yesterday. As long as it holds, I would say a 50% retrace, then it's actually a positive for the market to see this little bit of a retrace on the action. Basically, what this is after you run a marathon, I love using this analogy. After you run a marathon, can you run another marathon? I mean, we're talking about 26 plus miles here, and when you run a marathon, ask any marathon runner who has, I mean, could they run another one right away? I mean, the answer is no. You got to take a break, you got to pause, you got to refuel. And at least for now, that appears to be what the markets are doing. They're refueling, they're having a little bit of a pause, they're taking a break, and getting ready. Now, the key here is very simple. So, you're basically looking for the market over the next day or two to start to turn back up. And what you're looking for is a takeout of yesterday's high. So, this is the 10-minute chart, obviously. And what you want to see is this is the high from yesterday. You want to see price get above that at 246. If you can breach that, it's going to send a signal to all the algorithms and all the big traders out there to go long. And if they go long there, you're going to see another big pop up. I still have a target upside. So assuming this is a bottom, and right now all indications are it is. By the way, how would you know if it's not a bottom? Very simple. You basically take out the lows here. So you basically, if you got down below 233, then you would say, uh-oh, this is not a bottom. I mean, the low has been broken. As long as this low holds intact, and this is the after-hours low from Monday, by the way. You can see it got down that low, and then the low from yesterday right in that same range. As long as this holds up, it could be a low. The strongest case, as I said, is if it holds kind of in this range, this 382 fib level, or even a little bit lower, the 50%. As long as it holds here, this is an unbelievably healthy retrace. All right, so let's go to the daily chart and talk about target price action, where we're expecting this market to go if it is a bottom. And here you can see the daily chart. Here was the big collapse. You had a beautiful time count, which is a PPT, price pattern time factor. That's our methodology that we live by here and we teach our members. Perfect time count down. So we actually anticipated this big move yesterday and had some nice longs. I took profits on QLD, which is a double ETF on the NASDAQ 100. In fact, I just rebought it, by the way. Interestingly enough, I just rebought it. We took profits yesterday after hours at 66 and change, and I just rebought it in the low 62s. So just a heads up there. But in any case, here was your big move yesterday on a time count. Today, your retrace. And what you want to see again is you want to see that high from yesterday taken out right here. And then if that happens, this is your target right here, 260. So you see the 20 moving average, the 50 right here, but more importantly is a retrace, and I covered this in yesterday's daily video as well. You have the scene of the crime parallel lines here. So notice how from this point to this point, and then from this point to this point, this is equidistant. So this is the same amount of drop here as it was from here, which gives you the parallel lines. So when this broke, you can see right here, see this candle got right below on a closing daily basis right there. That was the beginning of the breakdown. And we even talked about it. I even told the daily analysis video research center members. By the way, you get the daily analysis video every single day. I do it. Nick does it Friday, my partner. But every day I talk about the price action. I talk about the technicals. I talk about the PPT methodology. And this, I remember saying, this was not good when the market broke right here. It was a sell signal, and sure enough, look at what happened since then. I mean, just incredible. But bottom line is, what we call a scene of the crime retrace is what's likely to happen here. And what that means is that this was the scene of the crime. So here's where the breakdown occurred, essentially the crime, and you would look for a retrace to that level. Once you get to that level, this market's a stone cold short again. What's interesting is you're going to see people calling for new all-time highs once we get there. You'll see a lot of bulls reemerge. You'll see everyone on the bandwagon. And again, that's really a great indicator for the opposite as well. We call it a contrarian indicator, just like here at the lows. I mean, if you turned on CNBC as of Monday, I mean, people were near panic, folks. People were near panic. Really, any of the last few days, people were near panic till yesterday's rally. And that was a good indicator that we were about to bounce, right? So, I mean, these type of things you want to pay attention to. And again, You'll see that same type of event if we get back to this target price of around 260 on the spiders, which, by the way, is almost 20 points higher on the spiders. So, I mean, that would be a hefty bounce and really good for the longs that we have out there in the current level. Now, at some point, we're going to want to go short again, but right now, anyways, it is a good indicator. One other chart I want to give you guys a heads up. This is the last thing I'll tell you about today. I have Netflix. Netflix had a big bounce yesterday, but I've got to show you this level. So, here was your gap window. We can get rid of that. So yesterday it came so close to a gap. This is a huge gap fill right here. This is what you're looking for. So my dream chart setup here for a swing trade would be a retrace and a new low made on Netflix right to this gap fill. And if we get to that gap fill, which is right around 227.5, this becomes an unbelievably great long opportunity. This gap fill is a monster. Look at the size of that gap. I always believe that the bigger the gap, the stronger the gap. Remember that, folks. The bigger the gap, the stronger the gap. Meaning that if it's a big gap and it gets filled, it's going to have more strength than if it's a 5-cent gap. 5-cent gaps, they're still gaps technically. They still get filled, but they don't have the same type of technical resurgence. And really what's going on here is that you had a bunch of people here that remember this monster gap up and they're like, oh, I missed the big run all the way up. So psychologically, when it gets back to right that level, they're like, oh, I can buy it now. And it's as if this whole up move didn't come. And that's why you get these bounces at gap fills on retraces and vice versa on the short side when stocks go up into filling a gap. And you'll see people shorting at that point or selling their positions. Okay, so that's one of the stocks I was looking at there that looks like a beauty. That's all I'm going to give you guys for today. Bottom line is come join InTheMoneyStocks.com. Take the 7-day free trial, folks. It's all about the 7-day free trial. Get involved. Markets are so active right now. If you know what you're doing, there's so many opportunities in this market right now for big profits. So take the 7-day free trial. Remember, research centers for swing traders, people that like to hold stocks for multiple days to a few weeks or maybe even a month long. That's what the research center is. We base it all on the PPT methodology, which is proprietary. We teach it to you here at InTheMoneyStocks.com. If you want options, there's the options alerts. No free trial for that. If you want day trading, the intraday stock chat's where it's at. We have a 94% success rate this year in the intraday stock chat. It's incredible, folks. People just making money hand over fist if they're traders. All right. Bottom line is come join us at InTheMoneyStocks.com. As always, folks, it's a pleasure. Have a great one. Take care.